What's happening, guys? My name is Adam, aka Speedy Spectrum, and welcome to my newest Let's Play of Pikmin 2. I am psyched with a capital P for this project because I Let's Played the original Pikmin back in 2018 when I was the Grandmaster of Faster. Don't get me wrong, Pikmin 1 was a great game, but Pikmin 2 is even better. It did so much for the series, and it established some of the mainstays that made the franchise what it is today. Just like the first game, we have 3 different files to choose from, and obviously, we're going to choose the only empty file remaining. So, here we go. Hocotate Freight is a long-haul deep space shipping company. One day, its only employee of any merit, Captain Olimar, crashed on an uncharted planet while on an interstellar vacation. There, he was aided by indigenous creatures which he called Pikmin. In the end, Captain Olimar escaped. But in Olimar's absence, his employer, Hocotate Freight, ran into financial difficulties. And once again, our protagonist is the intrepid Captain Olimar, and this is actually the first time we see his home planet of Hocotate. And this is the company he works for, Hocotate Freight. Yeah, I know, what a dump. But we also have 2 new characters, the president of Hocotate Freight and local employee Louie. Olimar, I'm so glad you're safe. Yes, very glad, quite glad, but sadly I have an announcement that is not so glad. Our company is going under. Yes, we're finished. On his first mission, Louie here met a ravenous space bunny. And his entire load of golden Pick brand carrots was eaten. I took out an enormous loan to repay the debt from this loss. I decided to sell off corporate assets to repay the loan. But the only asset we had to sell was your ship, the SS Dolphin. As for the rest of our loan, we have no means to repay it. Yep, all that work from the first game gone in the blink of an eye. Or is it? Olimar, what is that? You brought that back as a souvenir for your kid? Treasure, treasure, treasure! Money, 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 money! Initiating valuation of recovered treasure. This artifact is worth 100 Pocos. This thing's worth 100 Pocos? That's more than a year's salary. And isn't that just sad? What? There are more on that planet? They can repay our debt. Louie, you dolt! Look alive! You must depart immediately with Captain Olimar! And just like that, we're thrown right back into the unknown planet, though it is implied that some time has passed between the 2 games, and we're going to start our adventure here in the Valley of Repose. Well, it wouldn't be a Pikmin game without an obligatory shaky landing, wouldn't it? Burst! That was close. I have averted a crash landing. Running diagnostics. Alert! Danger! Louie is missing. He must have somehow fallen out of his cockpit. He is not responding via his communicator. He is either flouting protocol or in danger. Olimar, you must find Louie before he freezes to death in the cold of this planet. Wait a moment. Look! Could these be Pikmin? They look like they are about to be devoured as we speak. You must help them quickly. Press the B button to call them with your whistle, Captain Olimar. You can also hold the B button to make the sound of your whistle carry farther. Remember? One thing I forgot to mention is that one of the most important things Pikmin 2 did was that it added a lot of the world building, charm, humor, call it what you like, and that can be evidenced in the opening cutscene, particularly with Louie's expression. But I think I've talked about that enough. Let's go ahead and whistle the Pikmin to our side. The Pikmin ran to your side. They seem to remember you, Captain Olimar. How fascinating. Give them instructions, and do not delay. Hold the A button to grab a Pikmin and release to throw it. Alright, so quick control tutorial. You use the left analog stick to move Olimar around. You press the B button to blow your whistle, which will bring any wayward Pikmin to your side. You use the A button to throw Pikmin, and when they are idle, their leaves will be glowing, and you can quickly whistle them back to your side. You can push the C stick to issue directions to your squadron and have them assemble in different formations. The L button brings the camera behind you. The R button zooms in and out. And the start button lets you bring up your map. Pressing the X button will cause your squadron to disband. Now, in the first game, the Y button was the button that brought up the map, and here it's the start button. In Pikmin 2, however, the Y button does something completely different, and we'll get to that later. For now, let's take care of this guy. Wow, that was a lot easier than I thought it was. Okay, Olimar's side is sealed off by this bag, as you can see. So what do we do about this? Well, we're about to find out. Attention, Captain Olimar. I have just re-established my communications link with Louie. It is fortunate we have managed to confirm his safety. Press the Y button to communicate with him. I am quite interested in the details of his condition. So as the ship mentioned, we need to switch captains in order to progress, which brings us to one of Pikmin 2's biggest and best gameplay additions. The inclusion of a second captain. Introducing Louie. Louie, allow me to assess your condition. As per our safety protocols, are you at all injured? Is that so? Then my concerns are eased. Our communication link shows you are nearby. Can you make your way to our location and rejoin us? I will navigate for you. Press the Start/Pause button to contact me and obtain information about the terrain. I already demonstrated that, Mr. Ship, so you don't need to tell us. By the way, check this out. Look at the imprint that Louie left behind when he landed. That's actually pretty funny. As a character, Louie is weird. You'll see for yourself as we progress through the game. We can talk about that later because, check it out, a familiar face from the first game. Louie, the odd object before you, appears to be one of the onions mentioned in Olimar's report. The seed the onion ejected just sprouted. According to Olimar's report, it can be plucked with the A button. Exactly the same as the first game. Whenever you see a Pikmin sprout, the A button plucks it out of the ground. Louie, this must be one of the Pikmin creatures from Olimar's report. It is staring at you. You can use the C-stick to issue objectives to your Pikmin squad and even direct their movement. You can disband your squad with the X button. Interesting. Olimar's description of the creatures resembling pick carrots was strikingly accurate. Louie, my sensors have detected drool in the corner of your mouth. Are you all right? And that cutscene is why I love Louie. The expressions he makes are just priceless. Anywho, we have some pellet posies in front of us. Pellet posies serve as nutrients for Pikmin. Speaking of which, the mechanics are exactly the same as they were in the first game. The Pikmin gather pellets and enemies and bring them back to the onion in order to further propagate the species. Case in point, this red one pellet is absorbed by the onion, and as a result, 2 more seeds appear. The onion ejected more seeds. The pellet from that flower must hold nutrients that breed Pikmin. Yes, the Pikmin gather nutrients, haul them to the onion, and further propagate the species. The onion is a Pikmin mothership. Reviewing Olimar's report, it seems repeatedly tapping the A button lets one rapidly pluck Pikmin sprouts. Once again, just like the first game, press A repeatedly to pluck sprouts more quickly. The higher the number on a pellet, the more Pikmin it will produce. I know things are pretty slow right now, and I guess that's to be expected since this is the tutorial, but we're going to need a grand total of at least 20 Pikmin before the day is done, for reasons I will explain later. These pellets should provide us with more than enough Pikmin to press down that bag, which Olimar is behind. So when thrown, the Pikmin will interact with the nearest object or enemy. If it's an object, they will interact with it. If it's an enemy, they will fight it. Now, whether they should interact with a specific object or enemy is another matter entirely in terms of strategy, but we can talk about that later. Check it out! It's a battery! Like anyone didn't know that before. Perhaps this object is one of the treasures that we are searching for. The only reason we found it here is because this is where you crash landed. How fortunate. I would like to appraise it, but you must regroup with Olimar first. Can you see him? Press the L button to move the camera behind you, R button to zoom, and the Z button to change angles. If you've played the first game, you will remember that the ship parts from the SS Dolphin served as the main collectibles. In Pikmin 2, it's treasures. You also might remember that there were 30 ship parts to collect. Well, in Pikmin 2, there is a grand total of 201 treasures. Needless to say, this game is much longer and much more expansive than Pikmin 1. And with 15 Pikmin, Olimar and Louie are reunited at last! Woot woot! But the ship has something to say. Captain Olimar, Louie, you are reunited at last. This has been a troublesome start to our trip. But now you must feel assured that your combined wits can get you through anything, correct? From now on, use the B button to form a single group, the X button to take solo action, and the Y button to change leaders. So now that Olimar and Louie are reunited, this means we can split up to cover more ground and work more efficiently. And this mechanic is absolutely vital for saving time during our explorations. For example, those 3 Pikmin we just threw will carry the enemy back to the Red Onion, but in the meantime, the rest of the squadron can start getting to work on that battery. Another new mechanic, digging. Some treasures are partially submerged, while others are completely buried underground. As for how we know if a treasure is completely underground, well, that'll have to wait. Alright, we're going to need a few more Pikmin before we can carry the battery back. And a few more Pikmin will come by momentarily. Since this is technically the tutorial, there is no time limit. Of course, that will change for future days. There's really nothing else we can do aside from wait for the Pikmin to carry the enemy back. But the more Pikmin carrying something back, the quicker it will be transported. So all we can really do is wait and wait and wait. I should also mention that each area of Pikmin 2 takes place in a particular season. In the Valley of Repose, it's obviously winter. And speaking of winter, it's just about winter time as of the date I am recording this video. In fact, there is snow right outside my backyard. So, yeah, that's a fun fact. Alright, let's pluck these guys from the ground, and we are going to head back to where the battery is, because now that we have 20 Pikmin, we can carry the battery. Now, unlike pellets and enemies, treasures aren't carried to the Onion. Instead, they're brought over to where the ship is. And that makes sense, seeing as how they are our main collectibles. For the most part, the treasures salvaged in the game are real-world items. Of course, some items are completely fabricated and may or may not contain references to other Nintendo games. I don't want to spoil too much. Yes, it is slow-paced as we don't yet have the ability to make flower Pikmin, but that's going to come real quickly. Not in the tutorial, mind you, but it'll come pretty soon. As I've said before, if you're familiar with the first game, you'll adjust to the second game pretty quickly, because it more or less functions exactly the same in terms of mechanics. And like I said, the fact that you have a second captain to divide and conquer in terms of work is absolutely amazing, because you can accomplish tasks much more quickly. And speaking of accomplishing tasks, the Pikmin have brought back the battery. This battery is worth 280 Pokos, and the ship has named it the Courage Reactor. By the way, if you tilt the control stick, you can rotate the treasures. Our first day of exploration has yielded our first treasure. We will be done in record time. I took the liberty of naming it when I appraised it. The name reflects my current thinking. Leave it to me to think up catchy names for hit products. It is but one of my many talents. We shall end our first day here and report back to our president. His face will surely be joyous. However, to communicate with Hocotate, we must fly into low orbit above the planet. We will not return to the surface until morning so as to avoid the indigenous nocturnal creatures. And with that, our first day has concluded. Positives? We're alive! That's good, isn't it? Not only that, but we reunited with the red Pikmin and obtained our first treasure. So all in all, this day is a success. And off we go into the outer space yonder, way up high over the stars. At the end of the day, we'll take a look at the daily report, and this details all the treasures we have collected. We are now up to 280 Pokos out of our 10,000 Poko target. Not only that, but we also get to see how many Pikmin we sprouted. And if we press the Z button, we can see how many Pikmin have died and to what. And as you can see, there are a lot of hazards lethal to Pikmin, all of which we're going to encounter in our adventure. And we get an email from the president. You found your first bit of treasure. Fine work. Our future depends on your efforts, so check your treasure hoard regularly. I'll check in often. Keep up the pace. That we shall, Mr. President, that we shall. And at the end of the day, you can save your game. And once you do that, we will head back to the area selection screen. But we're not going to head back in this video. Instead, we're going to press the L button because a new feature added to Pikmin 2. The Piklopedia. This is essentially an encyclopedia that contains Olimar's notes on all the different flora and fauna encountered on the planet. If you press the A button, you can throw pick carrots at whatever is on the screen, and if they're enemies, they'll try and devour them. And by pressing the X button, you can read Olimar's notes about the species. For example, dwarf red bulborb, Pansaurus pseudoculi russus, breadbug family. Although initially identified as a juvenile red bulborb, groundbreaking new research indicates that this creature is in fact a member of the breadbug family. A close relative of the vanilla breadbug, it escapes predation through mimicry. Unique adaptation of the red bulborb's crimson coloration allows the species to safely commingle. Such effective adaptation and obfuscation by a prey species is rare, indicating this clever creature is a master of mimicry. Now, if you press the Y button, you get to check out Louie's notes. And they relate to cooking. I don't know where that comes from. For a blissful bisque, mince the entire beast finely and stir in with heavy cream, artichoke hearts, and a pinch of black pepper. Heat slowly until piping hot. Rich and creamy, and my nose is itching something fierce for some reason. Keep in mind, you can only unlock Louie's notes when you beat the game. Now, if you press the R button, you can check out the treasure hoard where we've collected all of the treasure. And you can read Olimar's notes about the different treasures he's collected. For example, the Courage Reactor. We've recovered our first treasure. Amazingly, the Pikmin remembered how to salvage it. I can't understand their adorable language, and I don't know what they're thinking, yet I'm so happy to see them. When I crashed on this planet, the Pikmin helped me locate my missing ship parts. In my darkest hour, the Pikmin were there for me. Now that I'm reunited with them, I know everything will be all right. It will, right? Maybe, Olimar. Maybe. There are another set of notes relating to the treasure hoard, but that will have to wait until another time. For now, I think we're going to end the video here. So next time on Let's Play Pikmin 2, we're going to return to the Valley of Repose. See you guys next time!